Hello, this is Chek. Welcome to my video blog. Today I thought I would share one of my favorite snack foods, which can also be a dessert, and that is the good old plantain. Always organic if possible. I highly recommend organic always. The plantains are unique if you let them ripen until they turn blackish like this and further. As they ripen, they get sweeter and sweeter. So there's a greater concentration in sugar and they become more desserty. But if you open them earlier and make this dish I'm about to share with you, they can be quite savory. So you may even add seasonings that would be more appropriate, say, for a savory dish. I like seasoning salts of different type. And then you can eat them more as a savory food. Or you can use them in the bland state. Say you just want a plantain and it's not ripe yet and you just want one, and it turns out to be a bit bland and not so sweet, then you can take your favorite organic jam, or you can take some yogurt that maybe has some flavoring or some fruit in it, and you can dip it in that, and they taste almost more like chips of a sort than they do like dessert. So I like to wash them before I peel them, because even if they're organic, they've been transported, they've been sitting on store shelves, people may have been handling them, sneezing on them. Once you wash it, then you can go ahead and peel it, and you don't have to worry about touching the fruit, or I think plantains are fruits. Might be a vegetable, you never know. And then what you want to do is cut it. If you cut them too thin, they tend to break apart. And so I like to cut them, I'll show you the end piece about there. I like to cut them about that thick, probably 1/4 inch approximately. And then they don't take too long to cook up, but they also don't fall apart. They don't stay on the cutting board very well either. You can see I haven't been to sushi school or ginsu training, or I would have chopped 20 plantains up by now. But if I tried to impress you with my knife skills, I'd probably also lose a finger or two. Now, the neat thing about plantains is that you can cook them in a good, solid, healthy, saturated fat. So here we have duck fat, I believe. No, this is organic coconut oil. Ghee, you can use good, high-quality organic butter. This is one of my favorites. I just happen to do really well with duck fat. So you can use duck fat. I'm going to use duck fat today. The saturated fats are good not only for their nutritional support and immune support, but they're good because you can cook at high heat with them. You're going to be using medium heat, depending on your stove, maybe slightly less or slightly more, depending on how fast you want to cook them. I like mine a little bit burnt, so I tend to run the temperature up a little bit high so that I don't have to wait super long for them to get to that burnt but yet cooked through state. So I'm going to pour a little coconut oil, duck fat. I don't do so well with coconut oil, so I like duck. I do well with butter and ghee, as long as I don't overuse it. Everything in moderation. Put enough in there to cover the pan. If you feel like they're getting too sticky on the pan, you can add a little more. I think I will add just a tickle more. If you put too much oil, then you need a grease splatter screen, or it'll be all over the place. And I'm going to put that on the heat, and I'm just going to drop these little guys in there. And we're on electric. It's an electric stove. I hate electric stoves, but it's just what I have here. We have a nice gas one at home. This is my office. But the electric stoves are not often as stable in temperature. Gas stoves I prefer better if you got one. But you just have to experiment with the heat. And the worst thing you do is you learn how to make plantains better and try again. Okay, so I got these little guys all tucked in, and they're starting to brown up already. I would recommend watching them though. You got to be careful. If you go away for too long, it could just burn it into submission and not be so tasty. Also, you want your exhaust fan on because they do make a fair bit of smoke. And you'll watch them. When you feel like it's burnt enough or cooked enough for you, you can flip them over and just have a look. They kind of have a deeper yellow to them when they're cooked properly. Then from there it goes to black burnt. Mine are going really quick here today. I don't know where my flipper is, so I'll use a fork. And so you can see that's already got a bit of a burn on it. And it's cooking too fast, so I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit, which is fun. I'm fortunate enough that I have support that likes to cook, so I don't, and well, not all the support likes to cook, but not liking to cook and being loving enough to cook fortunately work out in my favor. So these are often made for me by loving support, and that loving support is more skilled at cooking than I am. But I'm doing this for you to show you that even a kind of a macho ex-82nd Airborne Division kind of guy can make such a beautiful dessert as that. So I'm turning it down a little because they are cooking very fast. Now while that's cooking, what I'd like to do is just show you what it looks like. We already prepared these before the shoot, just so you wouldn't have to hear me ramble too long. So there you can see about how I like them, the darkness of them. You can see they get deeper yellow than, for example, the ones in the pan. There's not too much oil because you can see that it's used up and there's not a bunch of oil everywhere. Then, of course, you've got to test them. And I like them. You can use jam with them, you can use butter with them, but they are quite sweet at this level of ripening. So you don't want to overdose yourself with sugar, but let's test this. This is a good time to practice Zen eating. The Taoists, Zen means to really be present with what you're chewing. And the Taoists say, eat your water and drink your food. Chew it until it's a liquid. Then your saliva's had a chance to work, your teeth have done their magic job of breaking things down, mixing it with the saliva. Then you get better absorption, less digestive stress. And life's just always better when your digestive system works well. So these guys are getting really close to done here. You can see it's got a nice burn on the bottom. I'm going to give them one more little flip. They get nice and soft when they're ripe enough. If they get too ripe, they fall apart, which is why you got to be careful not to cut them too thin. And my friends, we are now in a very unique situation in this house. And I want to thank you all. Because of you, I now have two beautiful plantains cooked up that all of us here will share, and we will think of you while we're eating them and send you our love. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you enjoy making yourself plantains. If you want to learn a lot more how to eat, move, and be healthy, how to live well and live sustainably, check out our Holistic Lifestyle Coach Level 1 program at chekinstitute.com. It takes you through how to eat, move, and be healthy, teaches you the essence of the principles and practices of my 4 Doctors ebook, and a lot more. You can get it online or you can do it live. It's a lot of fun, and I'll tell you what, you'll need a lot less visits to doctors, a lot less medical drugs. You'll have a lot more money at the end of the year to spend on great food and traveling and having fun. You'll have a lot more vitality. Your kids will be healthier, and you will be beyond the average, but one of the healthiest, bravest, wisest leaders of humanity as a living example just by doing things like eating good plantains. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Chek.